everyone, hope you're well. So as you can see by this rather big guitar shaped box in my hands, it's a new guitar day for me. So a bit of a backstory, if you've not seen this on my socials, the guys at DONNER Music recently reached out to me and asked if they could send me a guitar. And obviously I said, absolutely, that would be amazing. So what I've got in this box is their Les Paul style. I say Les Paul, it's more of a Les Paul Junior. But yeah, super excited to show you this. So we're going to get it out the box, show you what it's like essentially. So yeah, should be a fun video. When they got in touch, they had it in Sunburst, which I'm a big fan of. I believe they make it in a few other colours as well. There's a black one, I think a nice kind of seafoam green as well. We'll flash a few images up on the screen of that. But yeah, this is going to be a Sunburst Les Paul. Well, that's what I'm hoping it is anyway. That's what they said they're going to send. So yeah, we'll see. So here goes. Let's get to the unboxing. Okay. There's the lid. Get rid of that. So straight into a gig bag. Looks decent quality. Got a few other bits in here as well. So just grab these. Okay, so looks like we'll do one at a time. Got an instrument cable here. So I'll open this up. Pretty cool. Oh. So here's Donner's instrument cable. Gotta say, feels decent quality. Nice metal ends here. That's the first sort of part to go wrong on a cable, really, especially on the cheaper cables. This feels great quality. Love that we've got a nice little Velcro tie here to keep it nice and neat with the old Donner badge on it. We'll get a close-up of this later on if you can't see it. But yeah, it looks decent. Size-wise, I'm guessing it's, I don't know how many meters this will be. Decent enough. And it's already tangled up. Let's put that to one side anyway. Great quality cable. Compared to what you'd normally get in a sort of starter pack like this, that feels really decent. So I'll definitely use that one later on. The next part we had was the, looks like a strap here. So I'll open this up as well. Cool. Lovely. So a nice quality fabric strap here. We've got the nice sort of Donner branding on the leather part there. Looks decent. Yeah, comfortable. I'm sure that'll be long enough. Yeah, cool. Alright, so now the really exciting part, the guitar. So yeah, again, here's the gig bag, hopefully you can see. Got the nice Donner branding on the front, pocket. Big enough to put your biscuits in, or you know, your guitar tabs or whatever. Yeah, looks pretty decent. Nice quality bit of, you know, material here. That's the first place where cheap gig bags seem to go wrong. As you know, you drag it along the floor, the strap pin of the guitar always cuts through. So that's really cool to see. Got nice straps on the back, you know, kind of what you expect out of a gig bag. But I've got to say, I've seen worse gig bags. They certainly haven't skimped on the quality on this one. So without further ado, let's open it up. Okay, this is exciting. It's like Christmas. So, good weight to it. Let's see how we can open this up. So, elastic band at the top. Very well packaged, I've got to say. Very impressed. So here goes the reveal. Let you guys see it. Cool. Okay, let me grab this off. No easy way of doing this. There we go. Cool. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to remove this. Pretty cool to see that. You don't normally see that when you buy a new guitar. So they've taken a lot of care packaging this, absolutely. Okay, let's grab this off here. Awesome. Okay, so there's the guitar. First impression, I'm amazed by it. It looks cool, doesn't it? Lovely sunburst colour. Okay, so we'll get plenty of close-ups of this later on, especially when I've not got all my sweaty fingers over it. But that's cool. So on the headstock here, we've got two little tags, a chord chart, which is pretty cool. Should know all of those by now. And then this one here on the back, which is a string action ruler. Very cool. So again, if you want to do a bit of setup work on this guitar, that would be very useful. Nice to see that. So we've got two pickups on this guitar, both humbuckers, and just the traditional setup of a three-way switch, neck pickup, bridge at the bottom, and both pickups in the middle. Looks like a volume and tone control. These feel great, nice and smooth. The best feature I've noticed so far is just the feel of the neck. Again, we'll have to get some close-ups of this. It's incredible. It's a satin finish, but look at the flame, the maple on that. It's lovely. Again, something that you'd normally expect on a much higher priced guitar. So that's awesome. So as you can see, it's a bolt-on neck on the back there, and that's a very common way of saving, saving money on a guitar of this sort of nature. Obviously, a typical Les Paul or Gibson would be a set neck, but you would never expect that at this sort of price point. So it's worth me saying, this guitar retails for £120. So if you were to buy this, and they're sold on Amazon, I'll put a link in the description. This is what you're getting for £120, and I guess it's very similar to like an Epiphone Les Paul Special 2. Straight out the bag though, some of the features that I'm loving on this is the bound body. We've got this nice cream binding here, just really sets off the sunburst nicely. I believe that's something you don't get on the Epiphones. We've also got the bound neck and the bound headstock. So I've not plugged it in yet, but it's a very attractive looking guitar, and I'm pretty excited to see how it sounds, to be honest. Again, the neck is the thing that's blowing me away. This lovely satin feel on it is ideal for sweaty hands. You know, I go on about this a lot, but on a lot of very cheap guitars, they'll just paint the neck and you get this kind of like sticky gloss, and it can be a little bit uncomfortable. So that just feels lovely. So I'm going to run you through a few of the specs, and then we're going to plug it in. So yeah, really impressed so far. Yeah, let's hope it sounds as good as it looks. Okay, so I'm just going to go over a few of the specs on the guitar before we plug it in, and just a little chat about how it feels straight away in my hands. So the first thing, the body, it's made out of what we call basswood, or some people might pronounce that as basswood. Now that may be looked down upon by some people, but actually it's just a very high quality wood, often used on more higher end guitars. You'd be surprised. It's just cheap and lightweight, so you know, it's a great way to mass produce a guitar. So you know, it's a good wood choice, I'd say. A lot of people might want a mahogany guitar, but at this price point, again, you know, you're getting the best specs we can for the price. So yeah, that's cool. The fretboard is Indian Laurel, or so I've read online anyway. It looks very similar to rosewood. I've never owned a guitar with Indian Laurel before, so it kind of looks a lot like rosewood. It feels, you know, it doesn't feel scratchy or anything. It just feels just like rosewood, to be honest. The frets are nice and shiny. They look pretty slim compared to, you know, a more modern, you know, sort of a guitar like a Jackson, I guess. But yeah, they feel nice. You know, the first thing I check for on a cheap guitar is how it feels in the hand. You know, are the frets sprouting out? And that basically means the frets sometimes have a little sharp edge on them, especially on cheaper guitars. And, you know, I can run my hand up and down like this on both sides. Feels totally fine. So that's a great thing off the bat. And again, the next thing on the guitar is the tuners. They look pretty cool. They've got the old Donner branding on the back there. Metal tuners, you know, none of the cheap plastic tuners like you sometimes get on cheap Les Paul style guitars. And that's normally the one thing people have a go at on a cheap guitar, is the tuners. They never seem to have a good turn or gear ratio to them, and they just kind of feel a bit sloppy. Let's see how these feel. So I'm just going to hit my A string. Yeah, hopefully you can hear it on the camera. Really smooth. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. Something I'm going to do later on, I'm going to restring this guitar with a set of 10s. And that's something I do on any guitar. Anytime I buy a new guitar, no matter how cheap or how expensive, it doesn't matter what the brand is, I always like to put my own set on. It's like putting on your favourite socks, isn't it? You know, I just feel most comfortable with a set of 10s, 52s, mainly because I like to dig into the strings a little bit. So these feel quite slim, like 9-46 maybe, and I'm interested to see how well they'll stay in tune, but we'll see. But yeah, so far I'm absolutely floored by the back of this neck. It's incredible. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug it in and just go through a few basic sounds, and then I'll restring it and go through a few more sounds. I'm going to plug this into the Blackstar JJN. You've probably seen that before on the channel. I use it all the time. Again, I'm going to keep the settings kind of pretty straightforward. We'll get a close-up so you can see what I'm using. I'm not going to use any pedals, nothing fancy, so just I'm going to go through the guitar, straight into the amp, and I'm just going to go through a couple of sounds between the two pickups and see what you think of it, really. So here goes. Okay, so we're plugged into the Blackstar, like I said. We'll get a close-up with the settings if you're curious, but here's the bridge pickup. I'm just going to hit a couple of chords just so you can get a vibe for it. I say clean, I always like my cleans, you know, on the edge of breakup, so it's a bit more of a crunch sound, I guess, for some people's taste, but... And again, a humbucker's going to drive that, so sounds great. That's the sort of clean sound I like. So I'm just going to play a little riff and then I'll go between the bridge pickup and the neck pickup so you can hear a bit of variation. Now the neck pickup. That's lovely. Always love the neck pickup on a Les Paul. Just offers a slightly more warmer, sort of cool sound, doesn't it? And let's try both pickups together. Fantastic. Let's just go through the tone controls as well. So again, it's an overall volume. No matter where you are on the guitar, it's the volume up or down basically. Works as it should. Again, that feels really smooth. On a lot of budget guitars I've played in the past, the pots can be quite scratchy. That's a great action, you know, really smooth. That's awesome. Yeah, fantastic. And the tone control, let's see what that does. Definitely works. Yeah, that's taken all the high end off the guitar. Quite muffled. Not a sound I generally like, but everything on 10 for me, I'm afraid. Yeah, that sounds great. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to the drive channel on the amp and, you know, play a bit of grit because that's kind of what a Les Paul's built for, isn't it? So, where's that? Sounds amazing. No complaints here. That really does sound good. I'm kind of blown away. Wasn't expecting it to sound that great. Yeah, that's cool. Let's try the neck pickup. So I'm just going to try a bit with my fingers as well, try and get a bit more dynamic out of it. So rolling it down a touch here. Sounds lovely, really happy with that. Okay, I was going to play a few different riffs and see what it does, but so far, quite a range of tones out of this guitar. Super pleased with that. I'm really actually surprised at how great it feels and sounds for the price. So yeah, I'm going to play a little bit more, then I'm going to whack some thicker strings on it and really get into some stuff. So yeah, so here are a few more riffs. So pinch harmonics are coming out of the guitar. You know, I've got a good amount of gain on here, nothing over the top. I think my gain control's at, you know, pretty much 12 o'clock, so there's a lot more the amp can give. And these pickups, comparing it to my other guitars, they feel great, quite responsive to the fingers. You know, you're playing softer, you can hear that, which is awesome. They've got quite a bright sound, I think. You know, just going on my first impressions here. Really like it. I'm just going to play a bit of Hendrix for you. Try and, you know, do a bit of dynamics again. So I'm on my bridge pickup as well here. I've got the volume rolled down about, you know, down to 2 or 3, and I'm going to just bring it in as we go on. So. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, like I said earlier, I'm going to grab a set of strings. I'm going to use the Dario's 1052, that's my favourite. So yeah, I'll get that sorted, restring it up, and then we'll turn the cameras back on and do a bit more playing for you and a bit more chatting. So I hope you enjoyed the video so far. Yeah, here goes. So I got the guitar strum with 1052s now. Feels great. Not that it didn't before. Just I'm quite heavy-handed when I play guitar, and I just prefer the resistance of a thicker string essentially. So again, that's something I do on any guitar. I always like to put my own sort of gauge of strings on. It just makes me feel more at home, I guess. So I'm going to play another couple of riffs. I'm going to try something a bit heavier. Again, I've just still got the amp set as it was earlier. Just going to be digging into strings a bit more. I'm going to try a bit of lead guitar as well, because when you think of a Les Paul, we always think of sustain. So maybe try a few Gary Moore licks, you know, something along the lines of that. So here goes. Alright, I'm just going to play a few cleaner riffs as well, just to show you how versatile this guitar can be. So I'm going to try something a bit funkier as well, something a bit different from what I normally play. So here goes. Now something a bit more subtle. So I'm in the middle position here as well, so that's both pickups together. Lovely sound, very jangly. Okay, so one thing that really impressed me with this guitar is how great the pickups sound when they're not on full volume as well. Don't get me wrong, they sound wicked on 10. But just roll back a hair, you know, maybe to a 7 or 8. Sounds lovely. So I'm going to play a bit more for you. Again, some of the nicer sounds on the Les Paul are actually when you roll your volume down, in my opinion. You know, there's a lot of tones hidden there that people often miss out on when the volume's on 10, isn't there? So, you know, again, hopefully you've heard a mixture of tones out of this guitar. I think it's brilliant, I really do. So a few other things I want to mention actually. When I was restringing it, I just noticed how great the tuners were. Normally on a cheap guitar, you know, I hate to keep saying that, but you've got to remember this guitar retails for £120, or at the moment anyway. Again, there'll be links in the description if you want to check that out. But normally you find that the washers here on the headstock, they're always loose. Or there's the looseness in the tuners here. Again, there's screws on the end of these tuners, so if that ever happened, you could easily tighten them up. But straight out of the box, as it were, everything's set up really well. The guitar feels great to play. There's a great action on it, and there's nothing loose about it at all. So there's kind of nothing to complain about. Another thing I noticed as well was the jack plate here, made out of metal. Now, I can't tell you how many times I've snapped the plastic jack plate on my old Squire Telecaster, not to name drop another brand here, but you know, that's just a really cool touch. Again, on a cheap guitar, you normally would find plastic parts, so again, to get the metal tuners and the metal jack plate, it's a real bonus for me. Okay, so it's reached the end of the video, well, not quite the end, the bit where I sort of give my honest opinions on it. So again, as you can probably tell by how much fun I'm having playing, this is an incredible guitar, and I'm honestly blown away by the quality of it for the price. It just takes me back to my first guitar, you know. I won't name the brand again, but my first guitar, you know, back in the day when I didn't know much about guitars, you know, as we all start off somewhere, my first guitar was nowhere near as quality as this. In fact, it was 3/4 size, so, you know, it's an unfair comparison, but it wouldn't stay in tune. Not that I knew how to tune it in those days, but this just feels a whole world apart from my first ever guitar. So, you know, I really can't praise it enough. The quality of the finish is incredible. Like I said, I talked about the flame maple on the neck here. That's something you normally don't see on a guitar at this level. You know, I've got guitars, you know, much higher end that don't have that. And again, the feel and the fit and the finish is just fantastic. I try my best to look around the body on the paintwork as well for any flaws, but it just seems to be a great guitar, you know. Obviously a lot of people might compare this to an Epiphone. Big fan of Epiphone as well. Again, for the price point, I feel this is getting you a little bit more for the money. Things I've talked about in the past about the satin neck. A lot of Epiphones that have a painted neck, and this just is a real winner. The first thing I noticed out of the box was how comfortable it felt on the back of the neck here. I guess, you know, the biggest comparison is the way the body looks as well with the binding. That's something you don't normally get on a lower end Epiphone, so that's a real plus point for me. Who do I think this guitar would appeal to? Obviously anyone starting out, the price point makes it a really friendly, attractive price for someone just getting into guitar. If that's, you know, playing on the acoustic past experience and wanting to delve into electric, this would be a great guitar for you. And obviously they do more in the range as well. They do a Strat style, a Telecaster. This one, obviously the Les Paul shape fits my taste. If you've seen many of my videos on my channel, you'll see it's normally Gibson Les Pauls traditionally. So again, this kind of fits in with my my music taste a bit more, but and again, the quality is just fantastic. So don't forget, it comes with a gig bag, a decent cable. I was really shocked by that. Normally budget guitars come with those really thin cables that are basically only good for chucking in the bin, and a decent strap as well. So you know, this is a great setup to get started out in the world of electric guitar. I highly recommend it for that. Or even if you want something a little bit different, a cheap guitar you can sort of knock around a bit, maybe as a modding platform to new pickups, you know, mess about with it and stuff. So yeah, I think this is going to be a guitar that will appeal to a lot of people, to be honest. So you know, you should really check them out, and it just kind of shows. Don't always judge a guitar by the price point or what it says in the headstock, which is so commonly done in the, you know, guitar community, isn't it? Nothing wrong with, you know, owning a fancy guitar, guilty, but honestly blown away by the quality of this one at the price point. So huge thank you to DONNER Guitars for sending me this. It's been a real treat to review, and I really hope you guys enjoy what you hear. If you've got any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll make sure I get back to you as quickly as possible. If you are interested in buying one of these, you can find them on Amazon. I'll put a few links in the description as well, or if not, look on Donner's website. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Catch you on the next video. Favourite part playing that was watching the tags float around. It's funny.